Welcome back, and we go to Algeria, where craftsmen there fear their brass and copper making industries will lose their shine due to a lack of people learning the skill and a dwindling demand for their homemade goods. In the eastern Algerian city of Constantine, known for its traditional handcrafts, there are concerns that many in the brass industry will soon be down in their tools for good.
Algerian brassware has a long history across the country, and Constantine, in particular, is known for its decorative brass trays. Coppersmith Street was once bustling with trade, but many of the shops and workshops have closed as the profitability of the profession dwindles and young people look elsewhere for work.
There aren't too many coppersmiths who work because there isn't a big demand, so they prefer to work somewhere else. For a company, for example, because they say there is no future for this craft. This is the reason why the majority of coppersmiths are old. Only few ones are young.
The artisans are struggling with no tourism and a market flooded with cheap imported goods from China.
It doesn't have a big demand either inside the country nor outside. And what we make here stays here. Tourists hardly ever come and buy things. But in general, we don't sell a lot, and we can't say that there is a future for this craft. Young men don't even work on that anymore, only those who learnt it in the past. Many left from this job because they don't earn a lot of money.
Brassware is not the only part of the Algerian economy that's struggling. The country is taking steps to open up its economy after a sharp fall in energy earnings. In April, the government drafted a new investment law offering incentives to local and foreign businessmen in its non-oil sector. The reforms have been promised since mid-2014 when oil prices started to fall, slashing state energy revenues by almost half and forcing budget cutbacks. Since its 1962 independence from France, Algeria has been largely a state-run, centralized system. Liberalization and development of non-oil sectors have come slowly, and state bureaucracy remains a major concern for investors. But craftsmen in the workshops here feel that a lot more needs to be done by the state for their industry to regain its shine.
And finally, in Egypt, while mass production of Primus stoves have all but disappeared, a small workshop in Cairo is keen to keep the traditional item in production, carrying on the family business as one of the few remaining manufacturers in Egypt.
In a downtown corner of Cairo, craftsmen in a small workshop are keeping a decades-old traditional craft alive, eating copper and shaping it. They are making traditional Primus stoves that were frequently used before large gas canisters were introduced to the mass market. The Egypt's capital was home to dozens of workshops that made stoves like this, but a decrease in demand has led to many of them closing. Mohammed Gamal Abdel Nasser's workshop is among a small number that are keen to maintain the manufacturing of the handmade goods.
We started to branch out into manufacturing traditional miniature coffee stoves, Kanaka coffee pots, and special parts used in shishas because the manufacture of the Primus stove itself has become extinct. Over the years, especially in the last 10 years, people stopped using the Primus stove. It was first found in homes, some having more than one. When brides were preparing their houses, the Primus stove was one of the most essential items on the list. But today, nobody knows how to even use it.
Well, that's it on today's program and, of course, for the week. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Chimize Obi Iwago. Have a good afternoon.